Halloween is right around the corner, but before you go trick-or-treating, you better plan on what comic books you're buying.
Hey comic book fans, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0 and fans. Yes, you're back with me, Mike Spider Slayer, getting ready to bring you the top 10 most anticipated comic books. And this is for October 30th, 2019. It's never too early to put together that pull list, guys. And hopefully this series helps you make decisions of what comic books to buy. That's right, guys. Before you go trick-or-treating, you got to get your comics the day before of Halloween. And this week's top 10 most anticipated comics is kind of Halloween themed. There's a lot of dark, creepy types of books being released this particular week. And I thought at first it was kind of just me. Am I that type of person that just likes horror books and books that are about death and depression and shit like that? Well, yeah, I guess there just happens to be an overwhelming amount of them. And yeah, I do like those books, so call me a little sick and twisted, but that's just the type of genre of books I guess I like. So, let's start, all right? So let's start with the book that's on the hot seat. That's right, guys. This is the book where I'm always, thinking about possibly dropping or maybe thinking about buying and whatnot. And this week's is a new #1 from Marvel Comics, and this one is the Red Goblin, issue 1. That's right, Red Goblin is back. The whole Absolute Carnage storyline is just about over, and now it looks like we're going to get Norman Osborn back as the Red Goblin, okay? This book is 40 pages, and it's $4.99. It seems like these days we're starting to get more villain books out there. How long this series is actually going on for, I have no idea. But just to give you a little description of what this book is about, it says, in order to finally destroy Spider-Man once and for all, Norman joined himself with the Carnage symbiote, becoming the Red Goblin. Here at last is the Red Goblin's reign of madness and mayhem. So grab your greatest goblin gear and rend your raiment red, for the Red Goblin rides again. How does he come back? How does Norman escape the whole Absolute Carnage thing? It's still yet to be determined, right? Because at this point of this recording of this video, we don't know the outcome of Absolute Carnage. So this one is on the hot seat. We'll see how this story actually is and if it's good enough to keep on my pull list each week. All right. So officially kicking off the top 10, we're going to start with number 10. And this series has been done to death, but still, it's like that guilty pleasure, right? This is Marvel Zombies. It makes its return, and it's called Marvel Zombies Resurrection Issue 1. The horror smash hit lives again. That's right. So if you read Marvel Zombies, the original one from Robert Kirkman, 2 and 3, well, you're going to probably want to read this one too. And this story sounds quite interesting. I was reading the description, and this one here has to do with a deceased body of Galactus that's orbiting around the sun. So what happens is that you have Earth's mightiest heroes, and I think the Fantastic Four are actually going to explore Galactus, and then all of a sudden it transforms our heroes one by one into menacing zombies. And then I guess they probably go back to Earth and they cause mayhem on Earth, and so on and so on. There seems to be an overabundance of zombie books lately, and it just seems like they're trying to get the next Walking Dead, right? On which one is actually going to stick. Now, the book that's really good out there is DC, so I definitely recommend that one. But we'll see where this one goes here. All right, so this one fell at number 10. This book, by chance, just letting you know, it's 40 pages as well, and this one is $4.99. So we're 2 for 2 for the $5 comics this week. All right, so coming in the number 9 spot this week goes to Silver Surfer Black. This is issue 5. You understand the theming this week? We got zombies, we got black. I mean, just everything about it. You got Null in here again. So this looks like this is the conclusion to the Silver Surfer Black series. This book has been really good. We've got to see Silver Surfer go back in time when he was in the Guardians of the Galaxy, done by Donny Cates. And this was all the way to the point where Galactus actually was being born. And so now in this issue, we have seen Silver Surfer use his powers to create light, because light has to overcome dark. And that's kind of what this book is. It's light versus dark. And it's a great story. It's very well written. Now, people will argue that the artwork is not the best and it doesn't really fit the book. But you know what? The story is so well written, I've kind of overlooked the artwork at this time. But it's a great read, and I've really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to the conclusion of this one. All right, so that was number 9. Let's move on to number 8. Number 8 this week goes to the conclusion of Dead Man Logan. Again, more dead in the title, right? So the final issue of this series that's been going on all year, and the description of this book was very short. It just says, "Legends never die." So is Old Man Logan going to stay alive after we've been teased for almost 12 months now that he was going to die? Still to be determined, right? 32 pages, $3.99. This series has actually exceeded my expectations. I loved everything about it. I love the journey that Dead Man Logan has been going through, or Old Man Logan that has been going through. The thing with all Mysterio, with him going back to the wastelands, of rescuing young Bruce Banner, teaming up with some of his old friends. It's been just a fun journey, and it's that type of comic that almost makes you realize why you fell in love with comics in the first place, right? Because of all of these, this just great and fun story, and you just can't overlook it. So we'll see what happens with Old Man Logan. Does he live or does he die? All right, so next, coming in at number 7, we have the Superior Spider-Man, issue 12. The conclusion to this. I had no idea that this was ending until the end of last issue, because it said to be concluded. And you're like, holy shit, I didn't know that this was a 12-issue series. I thought this was an ongoing series. That's why I always was like, oh, where are they going with all this? You know, Dr. Octopus just hanging around. And this was to this point, right to issue 11. You know, he's established himself as a superhero, right? And so what Christos Gage has is he's given Otto Octavius a personality. He's given him like a conscience. He's saved people, and, you know, he has empathy for people. And now he was forced to make a deal with Mephisto or become Dr. Otto Octavius, the old version, but without any disease or mind, you know, I guess, disease as well. It's just like he's just old, overweight, I guess, Dr. Octopus, the one that we've known for years. So I guess this is Christos Gage's way of, you know, restarting the status quo. Whatever the case, but this series has slowly improved each and every time it's come out, and now it's coming to a conclusion. I'm actually disappointed about this. But great book. When this comes out in trade, hopefully you guys will read this one. 32 pages, $3.99. All right, next. Coming in at number 6 goes to Contagion, issue number 5. Now, it's a really good book. I guess number 3 is where I'm up to at this point. Was not as strong as number 2, but it's a very interesting story with this, unstoppable virus that no one can seem to stop. Cloak and Dagger have been taken over. All our heroes have been taken over. People are like throwing up this fungus, and you know, it's possessing other people, and our heroes don't know how to stop it. It's been a pretty good book. Now, is it as good as Deceased? Still yet to be determined, because Deceased is a little bit further through, almost concluding very soon. But this is, again, another one of Marvel's ways of actually doing this apocalyptic type of book. So good series, and hopefully it continues to get even better. All right, next. Cracking that top 5 at number 5 this week, it goes to Harleen, issue 2. Now, I really like this book, okay? And if you haven't read Harley Quinn's origin story, this might be a good kind of jumping on point for you, even though this takes place in the DC Black Label. But a lot of people are saying that this is very similar to her origin story. So that's why people have really liked this book or they've disliked this book. But I like this version. I love the artwork. I think it's very well done. I love seeing how smart Harley Quinn actually is before she became Harley. And we get to see her meet the Joker for the first time. Now it looks like we're going to see like her romance with the Joker and how maybe possibly she starts to fall down that rabbit hole, right? So I'm looking forward to this one. I really enjoyed it. It's kind of just, you know, taking the blinders off and just saying what they have to say without, you know, censoring it and stuff like that. And that's what I like about the Black Label stuff. So yes, this book is 64 pages once again. So you think that the first issue was long? Well, the second issue is just as long, and you're paying $7.99. Man, comics has gotten to be an expensive hobby. Like every single book here is like $4.99 except like 2 books. And then you got this $7.99 one. So it's like, oh, look, there's one that's $3.99. Oh, wait, shit, this one's $7.99. So be prepared, guys. All right, next, sticking with the dark theme and Halloween-themed books this week, we are talking about the number 4 book this week. And this one is The Dark Multiverse, Death of Superman issue number 1. That's right. So this is an alternate version of What If, like it's like What If comics from Marvel, right? This one has to do with, well, what if, you know, Superman died and then you have a twisted Lois Lane that takes over for Superman, right? And by rage and grief and all that other stuff, and she becomes like the Eradicator. And so that is absolutely insane. So I think this could be a book that's a lot of fun. I love these Elseworld stories and these what if books. You know, it just puts a spin on things, and it's kind of like, yeah, what happens if this happened, right? So I'm looking forward to this one. But again, guys, 48 pages, which is good, $5.99. So even just for these 10 comics alone this week, you're going to be spending a lot of money. All right. So, next on the list, number 3 goes to Venom, issue 19. This is the Absolute Carnage tie-in, A Family Affair. So, it looks like Venom is going to happen to do battle against Carnage. He's pretty much powered up at this point, and when it comes to Absolute Carnage stuff, and he's going after Null, and what is he going to do to stop him? Is he going to sacrifice himself? We don't know. But the little description says, as carnage rules and chaos reigns, the symbiotic offspring of Venom make their presence known by hunting Eddie Brock's son, Dylan. But there's more to Dylan than Venom, Carnage, or even the Maker understand. And once they learn the truth, nothing will be the same. And I mean nothing, fans, because we were teased a couple issues back in the Venom series, as Absolute Carnage has been going on, that when Dylan got mad, you got to see a little grayness going on, and you could tell there was something, you know, deep inside of him, but it's slowly coming out, right? So, yeah, this is a big tie-in. Like I've said, if there's any of the tie-ins that you got to read with Absolute Carnage, it's got to be the Venom one, because the same writer writes the story and that tie-in. If you're looking for any of the other tie-ins, don't worry about those. They've gotten worse as time has gone along, but the Venom one is right where it needs to be. All right, so 32 pages, guys, only $3.99. All right, so number 2 this week for October 30th, right, goes to probably my favorite zombie apocalyptic type of book right now, Deceased. This is issue 6 of 6. Yeah, really, issue 5 was phenomenally done. As we got to see Superman contract the virus as he stopped zombified Flash. And he tried saying goodbye to his family one last time and flying into space. But he couldn't quite get away in time as the zombie virus took him over. And now he's the most powerful zombie thing around. And it looks like now he's got to come crashing down to Earth and talk about affecting people, this is a guy that can affect people and truly overtake the earth. So let's hear the description here. It says, humanity is on the brink of extinction and only a few remaining members of the Justice League stand between life and annihilation. As the remnants of humanity make their last gamble for survival, will there be a planet left to call home when all's said and done? The sense-shattering conclusion to this year's surprise blockbuster is here. 40 pages, $4.99. Good book, though. This is worth the money. Like Lex Luthor said, you can't live on Earth anymore. You have to go somewhere else. That was mentioned in issue 5. So great stuff. I definitely recommend this. If you haven't checked it out yet, wait for it to when it comes out on trade. All right. And our number 1 most anticipated comic of the week for October 30th, 2019 goes to Excalibur, issue 1. Yeah, we have, is it Jerry Duggan that's the one that's writing this one, if I'm not mistaken? No, it's not. Someone else, something Howard. But nevertheless, this is the first issue of Excalibur. And so what can we expect here with these new X-Men books written by different artists? Now that Hickman has laid that foundation, right? And so I'm looking forward to this. We have our team with Rogue, and we have, who else is on there? Jubilee, Gambit, I think, is on there. So there's quite a few people on here. Let's see what it says. Mutant kind has always been special, as their relationship with the world or worlds around them as this new era dawns. A new connection forms between mutants and the magic of the world and that of the other world. Can the new Captain Britain forge a new way through the chaos with their companions? Here we go. Rogue, Gambit, Jubilee, Richter, and Apocalypse? Well, if you read House of X and Powers of X, you understand why Apocalypse is part of this team. And guess what? 40 pages, $4.99, guys. So shell out that hard-earned cash, because like I said, you'll be spending a lot. But there are my top 10 most anticipated comic books of the week. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Now I want to hear what your top 10 most anticipated comics are. Your top 5, your top 3, your number 1. Or don't you not have any anticipated comics? I'm willing to hear all comments in there. And if you do at any time like this video, again, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to that channel. Don't forget to hit that bell so you don't miss any content from me. And fans, this is Mike Spider Slayer signing off. This is Comic Book Corner 2.0.